Okay, let's continue reviewing this script. We just realized this function is not non-dangerous. We could use our tool, but maybe we first try to understand where it's being used. Let's check it right here. We can notice it's being used to decode one of the long strings, the one right here. Now we can also see this object is being used here. Let's say is the main function, so let's rename it. Let's say it's the main function, so it's being used in this function, which is taking every part as a separate variable. So let's rename it as part 1. And as part 2. Replace. Okay. And now it's defining a path joining local app data and this variable, which is actually the sum string. Let's rename it sum string. Okay. So this is more like a path local data sum. We'll replace it, and that's it. Okay, so now it checks if the folder exists. In case it doesn't, we create it, and now we define another path which uses this path local data sum and the part1 variable. So this is more like a relative path. Let's change that to relative path. Okay. And since this is being used to write something, we should name it as destination path. Great, so it's writing the second part into the destination path. So this is more like content. Okay, so every object being passed into this function, it's separated into two parts. One is the relative path and the other is the content of the file, and we simply write it to this specific folder. So this function should be named drop file. We rename all of them, and that's it. Okay, so now we can also say each one of these objects represents one file. With that in mind, let's now check this function. Okay, so here is retrieving all the processes of Chrome, and then it's killing them. So this is more like a stop Chrome. We replace stop Chrome, and now we can notice it's executing the real Chrome path, and it's given as a parameter load extension, and this is the path to our folder that is being used in the function above, joining local app data and the sum string. So this is actually a Chrome extension. It's dropping the files for a Chrome extension. Great. Our only remaining task is extracting the actual files. So let's try to do that. We know there are some functions deobfuscating the content, but we also know there are some parts which are using the alias for invoke expression. And since we are not really sure what is the code, maybe it's a better idea to first show what is that code. So let's change this part. Let's comment this. We copy a line with Ctrl+T, and now we can create a variable pws code equals this, and we simply write it to the screen to only check if there is something dangerous, or if everything is simply base64 decoding. So that's one. Let's check another invoke expression. Here's another. We split it into lines. We copy, duplicate the line. We create our variable pws code, and we write to the screen. Okay. We look for another invoke expression. We have another, and repeat the process. pws code, write host pws code, and we look for another invoke expression. Yes, here it is. Duplicate the line, comment the one which actually execute the code, and we simply assign this variable and print it to the screen. Okay, another one. Yes, duplicate the line, we create our variable and write it to the screen. Look for another, and seems like we are done. There are no more invoke expression commands. Okay, so let's try to do that. Also, since in this VM there is no Chrome installed, let's comment those checks. Let's comment this exit check, and let's comment in our main function where we stop Chrome and when we launch the web browser. We only want to execute the script until we drop all the files. Okay, so here's the other check. We comment it, and great. Now we can execute the code and try to see if there is something dangerous. So we execute malicious deobfuscated, and that's it. Almost all of the code. Well, this is actually part of the drop file, probably because the strings were not decoded correctly, but we can see all the code being hidden by the invoke expression. And yes, it's simply get string from base64. It's simply base64 decoding some strings, so this is totally safe to execute. We can now uncomment these lines. Okay, and we can execute the whole script and simply check our local app data folder and see all the files. Okay, so let's execute it again. And great, now there are no more errors. We can go to our file explorer. We go to local app data. We go to the sumo folder, and here it is. There is this weird looking files, but these are created because of our first command when we did not succeed at decoding the strings. But what it is important are these other files: background.js, icon, manifest.json, and this source directory. So that's it. We will explore this Chrome extension in the next lab.